Great. Well, I think I'll actually get started, and because there's a bit of preamble, so if people keep coming in, that's fine. So welcome everyone. My name is Alison Kent. I'm on the board of the Yolo Audubon Society, and I'm a sketcher and a nature journaler. And I love birds, and this is why I do this. And in fact, the reason that I got into this a long time ago was because once I hit 700 ABA birds on my ABA list, I decided to stop getting in planes and wasting fossil fuels going to see birds, and I would sit and draw them locally instead. And so I started a blog which was called Bird by Bird, and I did a bird every day. And I haven't, that blog is sort of defunct at this point, but it got me into the practice of really looking at a bird and trying to understand it by drawing it rather than just looking at it, and certainly rather than just photographing it. If you want to get into photographing birds, I'm sure some of you know that it can get pretty expensive really fast. So with this, I need a pen and a book or a piece of paper, and I'm good to go, and my binoculars or a telescope. So I would love us, if you don't mind, to quickly go around. I've been doing this nature journaling workshop for Yolo Audubon for, I think this is the 4th or 5th one that we've done. And I do it the second Sunday of every month at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And we've always had a different mix of people, which is really interesting and really fun. So I do thank you all for coming. But I'm wondering if we could quickly go around and just say first of all, where we are, because I know one of us is quite far afield, and what our experience is with this kind of work, and what brings us here today. So Laura, could I start with you since you are first on my screen? Thank you.
Okay, my name is Laura and I'm from Salem, Massachusetts, and I am so thankful that Alison invited me to join you all on this in this workshop. I've been sketching, drawing for a very long time. I'm an amateur, certainly, and I just can't get enough of workshops, classes, books, or anything having to do with journaling and nature journaling and birds and whatnot. And I also am a trip leader for the Brookline Bird Club here in Massachusetts. And one of the trips that I started leading several years ago was a birding sketch crawl. So I do them seasonally. And it's just a lot of fun, just a fun way to get out and get to a spot, do a quick sketch and move on. So, so that's who I am, and I'm happy to be here.
That's great. And I love the idea of a birding sketch crawl. We might have to sneak off with your idea and do that here, Laura. Because there's a Davis sketch crawl, but not a birding sketch crawl. So we might have to snag that.
It's fun.
So yeah, thank you. Great. Keith, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Keith. I live in Davis. I have no experience, so it's like first grade for me. And
We're good. We're good.
I saw this in the paper last night, and I thought, you need to do something like this. Here I am.
After the week we've had, I know it's good. It's good to do this. So, yeah. Great. All right, Julie, you are next on my screen.
Yes. Hi, I'm also in Davis, and I'm also in first grade with this. One of my New Year's resolutions, or something I've wanted to do for a long time, is go for a daily walk. And I'm also a mixed media artist, and I enjoy sketching. So I thought, I also saw it in the paper, and I go, well, that's it.
This is great, because
I have an assignment.
Yeah. It's I'm so glad you've come. This is really fantastic. All right, Sharon, would you like to go next?
Sure. I live in Davis, and I walk every day. So I just thought this would be something different to break the monotony of my daily walks. And I've been on only one or two of the Audubon trips to West Davis Pond. But yet I'm on the lookout for birds. I take some photos with my iPhone, but they're really terrible photos because they're so far away. Anyway,
Well,
I just thought this would be fun. So
well,
I'm
no,
glad-
I'm so delighted that you've come. This is great. So thanks and welcome. Barbara, you are next on my screen.
I am Barbara. I live in Southern California in Carlsbad, San Diego County. And I actually found this because I was kind of looking around on the internet what the other Audubon societies are doing.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming. This is great. This is really fun. All right. I've got somebody down here. I don't see you. D. Sen.
Hi,
There
yes,
you are. Hi.
I'm Dilo. I live in Davis.
Mhm.
I love photography and I kind of like to photograph birds. I don't do too much of it since I don't have much time for that. But whenever I get a chance, I try to get 1 or 2 pictures of them. And I've done a journaling session at the Art Center here in Davis, just for fun. So I have some idea what it is and I kind of really started to like it. But after the class ended, I didn't really do much with it. And I really wanted to get back into it. And then seeing that it's related to birds and all that, it was a nice combination. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And let's see, Ben, you are last on my screen here. Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
I'm Julia, and this is Ben. We go on walks every day and we look at birds.
Fantastic.
And for Christmas, Ben got a nature journal and we went on a big hike right before New Year's and saw a lot of birds and started writing in our nature journal. And so we're just excited to learn more about journaling and do it together.
Well, this is great. Thank you so much. Right. Well, what a great group we have today. Some of you have done this before and some of you haven't. So I'm going to do a quick intro about what nature journaling is. This really has evolved from a practice that was developed by Joseph Grinnell at UC Berkeley in the early 1900s, where he would send his students out, or he would go out himself into the field with a journal, and he was very specific. You needed to say the date, the time leaving, the time back arriving, what the weather was, whether there was any wind, what the temperature was, and so on. And so he would make observations. For example, I'm looking outside now, and it's pretty foggy still here in Davis. And if I look at my app on my phone, I can tell what temperature it is, what the wind speed is. This is all helpful. Your phone is a handy thing to have with you when you're nature journaling, just so you know. And the idea was to record every species that was observed in this field. These were field journal trips, and not just every species, but how many. So how many coyotes, how many birds, how many insects. So what this has done is it's provided a really tremendous resource at the UC Berkeley Museum of, I'm going to say, Comparative Zoology. It probably isn't that exact name, but because you can see over time, well, if in May 1910, this many Townsend's warblers were seen, how many were seen on the same date 100 years later? And you get a real sense of how things are shifting, and particularly how they're shifting now with our climate change. The current practice of nature journaling, this has been developed by a lot of artists, but my particular favorite is John Muir Laws, who is he's a Northern California based artist and author, and he leads actually nature journaling workshops on Zoom that are also free. There's a requested donation, but you know, he's one of these people who say, if you can't afford it, please just pay it forward in some other way. But those are free, and they are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon on Zoom, and you can find those on johnmuirlaws.com. And I highly recommend him. He's a man with incredible intensity and energy, and very, very generous with his knowledge, and his knowledge is extensive, and he is an expert. I am not an expert. I'm an amateur. I love to draw. I love to sketch. I love to do nature journaling. But the thing about this stuff is the more you do it, the better you get. So first grade or postdoc, go for it. The more you do it, the better you get. And it's really a good way of training ourselves to record our observations and really bring the nature that is around us to life. Now, I am not sure how much time all of you have for this today, and we have been pretty loosey-goosey about this in the past few. What I would love us to do is go out for an hour and a half or even a couple of hours and say where we are, record what we see and what we hear, and put it in a book. It is pretty chilly here in Davis. Laura, I know it's chilly where you are. So you may prefer to just be pretty close to home and even look out from your window and see what you're seeing. But I'm actually going to get on my bike and go down to the Arboretum and see what's going on down there. How do people feel about time? I mean, I know in the past a couple of people have said that they couldn't do this for very long, and I just want to get a sense of what people want to do.
Could you define the scope of
the parameters?
time?
Okay, sure. So my suggestion, I mean, if this were up to me, and it is up to me, I guess, because I'm leading this, but I want to be a bit more democratic, is that we go out for an hour and a half to 2 hours and draw and record and then come back. So we would, it's 9:15, so we would come back at about 11, maybe 11:15. We'll just okay. And then share what we've done and what we've learned, and then go on from there. Does that sound like a thing people can live with? Julia, I saw that you said that you would just duck out when Ben got antsy.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry.
No, Julia suggested that she would duck out when our youngest member here would be getting a little bit fidgety. But yeah. So if we met back here at 11 or so, does that sound like too much time, or how are people feeling?
11 sounds good to me.
Okay. So what I'm going to do with the Zoom is I'm actually going to leave it running. I'm gonna stop the video so you will see a picture of my face, but actually I think it's a picture of a burrowing owl. But we'll come back here at 11, and I'll probably get back here a little early, so that if you get back a bit early, that's fine. We can chat and talk about it. But so this is a brief. Try and draw what you see. Write down what you notice. Ask questions. Why is this bird doing this? We've got a lot of activity right now by the Anna's hummingbirds in this part of the. I mean, Laura, sorry, but this
I
is
love hearing it.
this is a
No,
this is a Davis thing. So they are displaying right now. The males are displaying, and they are being very territorial about food sources and aggressive. So. What do you notice about that? I'm going to go down to the Arboretum. I have not been there for a long time because there's a lot of people there and I'm being very careful with COVID. So I'm going to try and find myself a secluded little spot, but I'm going to try and draw some of the waterfowl down there and see what else I see. And what are we seeing? What are we noticing? And it doesn't have to be restricted to birds. I know this is an Audubon group, so this is primarily a group that is concerned with birds. But really, we should be also paying attention to the plant life and to anything else that we notice, and particularly mammals. And here we're even seeing some insects still. Laura, I know that's probably not the case with you, but
no, not at all. It's 32 degrees here today, but the sun's out.
32? Oh, wow. Okay. Well. All right. Melanie, thanks for joining us. I will stay on very briefly and just give you an introduction about what we're doing. But everyone else, feel free to head out with your journal and your pens, paints, pencils, whatever it is. And we will meet back here at 11. So thanks. And Melanie, if you just want to stay on, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we're up to. Okay, thank you all. Okay, well, why don't we, oh, there's Julie back. Hi, Julie. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good, good, good. Okay, well, we're just reconvening here. It's 11:03. So here's what I would love you to do, if that is okay. And Keith has just shared that he wasn't actually able to get out and do any sketching. He was running errands, but that's fine. Why don't you say one thing that you learned about what you observed and one thing that you learned about what you recorded, either in words or drawing. So I'm going to, I'll start actually. So I did get down to the Arboretum, and one fabulous thing I saw was a pair of purple finches in a manzanita tree, and they were eating the fruit of the manzanita, but they were dropping lots and lots of it. So I don't know what part of the manzanita fruit they are after, but it's not the whole berry. It's not the whole little apple. So that is something that I would like to look into a bit more. What part of it are they actually eating? And what I observed about my sketching, let me see if I can share my screen. If share screen photos, see if that is in there. It's not there yet. Okay. Okay. So what I observed about my sketching, I'll show you here, is I was working on this cormorant a lot, and my sketching is that I cannot seem to get the bill length quite right. So that is an area that I'd like to work on a bit, because they do tend to hold it at this angle. It's not straight out, it's a little bit up. And I think I was getting that, but the bill length was a bit off. Oh, there's my purple finch. There you go. The male and the female. It was really cool. Anyway, so Sharon, you are next on my screen. What did you learn, and what are you able to share some of that?
Learn. Well, I was surprised by so many things. There were so many seagulls
Yes.
in the air today.
Yeah.
And I tried to draw. I didn't really stop, so I did it standing up, and I tried to draw the outline of a seagull, but I just end up with stick figures on my page.
That's okay. Actually, that's good.
Okay.
if you think about a bird in flight, so you've got the body and then you've got the wings, and that makes a cross. But the angle that you look at it, it can be tilted towards you. So you're going to get some foreshortening or not. If you see them straight on, you're going to get almost nothing. You're going to get a line. So it is, but it's actually it's a useful exercise to do them as stick figures. So good for you.
Oh. So when I saw them in a distance, they looked like these bees
Uh-huh.
at a distance. And then when they got closer, of course, they have these beautiful wing spreads. So, okay. So let's see. And then what was the other thing of something that let's see. Oh, there was
so something about what you learned that you observed and about how you recorded it, your sketching or your writing.
well, there was also a beautiful tree trunk that had, the trunk was like puzzle pieces.
Uh-huh.
And they were different colors, oranges and blues and
Oh,
grays.
wow.
And I thought, I've got to find out what this tree is, because it's got this beautiful trunk that looks like a puzzle.
Huh. Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you. Excellent. Trish, would you like to share with us what you saw?
Sure.
What you?
Yeah, I am in Stockton house sitting for my sister. So I just went out in her backyard, and I have seen a phoebe for several days in a row. And it's big, a lot bigger than the ones I see in Davis generally. So I don't know if it's, they're just bigger down here. I don't know, maybe. And here's my sketching. So I do a lot of stick figures as well.
Great.
And I tend to record in writing more than in pictures but I hope I can I'm really slow at drawing. So I'm hoping that I can get faster.
But
so
the stick figures are great. Don't knock that. I think it's actually a really good, because a lot of what makes a bird or a tree, this bird or this tree, is the angle that it stands at, and the angle of the head, the angle of the bill, the angle, and what are the branches doing? Are they flowing like a weeping willow? Are they doing this, like a blackthorn or something? So it's good to just catch the essence of the pose. So
Right.
Great. Well, thanks
you.
for joining us, Trish. Everybody, Trish joined in late, and of course, no one was here to let her in. So I'm sorry about that. But she went out
No, it's
anyway,
fine.
and she did the assignment. So fantastic. Okay, so Keith has been given a pass. Julie, what would you like to share about what you observed and what you learned?
Right. I went out to some acreage that's recently become a dog park off of Mace Boulevard.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful area. In the 10 acres of the dog park, I didn't see any birds, but I could hear them.
Uh-huh.
It's some type of orchard, it's been there probably for a long time. So then I went to the other preserve area, and I was able to get a few birds in the trees, but I didn't know what I was looking at.
Okay.
Because there's sticks and then shapes. So I have a few shapes here, but I know there's areas I can go to where I can see more birds. I know if I would have stayed home in my backyard on the golf course, I would have seen a lot of birds. But it was nice. And I liked the walking and being quiet. And I realized that in order to see birds, you need to be really quiet, really peaceful.
Yeah.
And so that was encouraging for me.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for going out, and thanks for doing that. And yeah, I haven't been over to that new dog park yet. I've been over to the Yolo grasslands where they had the archery range, and that's actually a very good birding spot. But I haven't been to the new new park that they've made out there. So
And the
I
area
want to go.
right before the archery range, it's totally open, and apparently you can walk around the perimeter with your dog. So
Oh.
I think I'll try to incorporate that next week.
Okay, great. Well, thanks.
Okay.
All right, Della, was it Della?
Yes,
Hello.
hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. I didn't get to venture out too far. I just went to the backyard and the front yard, and
Okay.
the birds I saw were slightly limited. But I did see a hummingbird in my neighbor's on top of the tree. They have a feeder there, so he was feeding there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether I saw a finch, a sparrow, or a mockingbird, but I did see those regular birds that tend to be outside all the time, pretty much. Their tails were not long, so that's why I was thinking they may be finches, but I don't know. I mean, they were more brown color, but this is what I don't know whether you could see, but
Oh, wow. Well, then, so if you've got that tail going down like that, that looks like a mockingbird.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice long tail, and they'll carry it or they'll put it, up in the air like that. And so that's actually something to learn about the way that birds carry their tails and the relationship of their wings to the tail. Are they long? Are they almost as long as the tail, like a bluebird? Are they very short and then a very long? It's. So I think from your drawing, it looks like a mockingbird to me. So well done. Maybe it was
And what was
something else.
interesting was, I really thought the hummingbirds had a longer tail till I saw one really up close and started to draw it. I didn't realize it was that short.
No, it is. It's not that it's that short. It's that their wings are really long in comparison to their body.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. They've got, very long wings. The wings are as long as, or if not a little bit longer than the body.
Okay.
Okay, folks. Well, does anybody want to say anything more than what we've already? Yes, go ahead, Sharon.
I saw a bird taking off across a lawn and across a street, and I could see that it had white tips on its wings and white on its tail. And I thought maybe that's a mockingbird.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Okay.
Mockingbirds are, they're very flashy when they fly. They've got these flashes of white.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very possible. And, definite long tail and
Yeah.
shorter wings with relationship to the tail. So Laura from Salem is back. Laura, are you just about getting in there? I want to see if she got her Barrow's golden eye. That's kind of a cool thing. Hello. All right, Laura, can you hear me? Okay, seems like we've got a bit of technical difficulties there. Well, listen, folks, I thank you so much for coming. I'd love to encourage you to go out and do this more than just today and more than just once a month. It's a great way to scrub out your head. And I think we could probably all use some of that at the moment. So yeah, just keep doing it. And I do this every second Sunday at 9 a.m. And if you registered for this, I think you are registered on an ongoing basis. So you can just keep coming back and come and hang out and see what people are doing and show us what you're doing. Okay, sure, Julie, go ahead.
One question. Do you have a book that you would recommend for identification, bird identification in our area?
Yes, I would recommend the Sibley Guide to Western Birds. There were several guides. The National Geographic Western is good as well. But the Sibley is pretty good because it doesn't include rarities, and you don't want to get confused by rarities. So you want to, what are the birds that are here? And that also comes as an app for your phone. And you can say, I'm in California. It won't show you birds that only occur in Newfoundland. You know, that won't, those will not be options.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Laura, are you there? Oh, sorry, Sharon, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say to Julie, sometimes I just Google images of, say, mockingbirds, and then it will show me a whole bunch of mockingbirds. And I think, oh, yes, that's what I saw. Or I'll just Google images of phoebes. So it's just a shortcut. And I
So
think
there is also a website called Merlin where you can type in what you saw of the bird and it will give you options. I think it's this, you know, it'll say, is it as big as a robin? Is it as big as a sparrow? And then ask you for anything else, and you give it clues and it gives you options. So that's another really good resource.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay.
Allison?
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me? This is Laura.
Hi, Laura. Yes. Welcome
Oh,
back.
I'm sorry. I'm calling in from my phone, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to pull over and try to call in, and at least I can listen.
Okay. So, did you get your barrows?
No, the tide is out and the lighting is all wrong.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
that's okay. We'll have to try. You know, we'll try during the week. But
Okay.
I did draw a barrows from Sibley, and my first attempt was terrible, and my second attempt wasn't too much better.
Okay. Okay.
I have a problem with proportions, you know?
Yes, I think a lot of us do. Yeah, I was drawing a cormorant and I was having the same issue. But I did get a very nice pair of purple finches feeding in a manzanita, so that was a lovely thing to see. So yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, folks. Well, if nobody has anything else, hope to see you again soon. And please go out and do this. And Keith, don't be shy. Just go and, you know, there's no wrong answer to this. The more you do it, the better you get.
I'm going later.
Good-o. Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. And see you soon. Right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.